As physicists, we are trained to follow one principle above all else. The data leads, no matter where it goes. And sometimes, the data leads us into places that challenge everything we think we know. Recently, Voyager 1, the most distant human-made object ever sent into space, has once again drawn global attention. After decades drifting silently beyond the heliosphere and into true interstellar space, it has returned something unexpected. A signal. But this was not ordinary static, nor random cosmic interference. It showed structure, repetition, layers of organized patterns that appeared too precise to be natural. At first, it was treated as an anomaly, just another irregular reading in deep space data. But as analysis continued, that explanation became harder to defend. The signal contained consistent mathematical relationships, repeating sequences, and structured variations that suggested design rather than chance. It did not behave like radiation, noise, or any known astrophysical phenomenon. Instead, it resembled information. Researchers initially assumed a processing error or instrument distortion. But when independent systems reanalyzed the data, the same structure appeared again, clean, consistent, and deeply complex. This led to a more serious interpretation. The signal might not be random at all. It might be intentional. As artificial intelligence systems were introduced to examine the transmission, even more unusual features were uncovered. Hidden within the layers of data were patterns resembling high-dimensional structures, something similar to fractal geometry or recursive information loops. These structures were not simple messages in a human language. They were more abstract, like mathematical constructs designed to be interpreted rather than directly read. It was as if the signal was not only meant to be received, but understood at a deeper cognitive level. Even more puzzling was Voyager 1's location at the time. It was passing through what was believed to be an empty region of space, far from stars, planets, or any known sources of organized signals. Yet trajectory reconstruction suggested something unusual. The probe may have crossed an invisible boundary or field, something not accounted for in current astrophysical models. As analysis deepened, computer models began reconstructing shapes from the signal itself. What emerged was unsettling. Not images in the traditional sense, but abstract structures, rotating geometries, layered frameworks, and forms that resembled systems rather than objects. They were not architectural blueprints in the physical sense, but patterns that seemed to represent processes, logic, or even thought-like structures. Then came the most striking discovery. Within one segment of the signal, AI systems detected a response pattern that mirrored humanity's own message sent aboard Voyager 1 decades ago, the golden record launched in 1977. But this was not a simple copy. It was a transformation. A reinterpretation. As if our message had been received, analyzed, and answered in a completely new form of expression. If correct, this would imply something profound. Humanity's first interstellar message may have already been answered. As AI systems continued processing the data, something unexpected occurred. The models began adapting themselves in response to the signal, modifying their own structures to better interpret what they were receiving. In a sense, the analysis turned into interaction. A back-and-forth pattern began to emerge, not in language but in mathematics and structure. A form of exchange built entirely on complexity and pattern recognition. This raises a fundamental question. What exactly did Voyager 1 encounter? It does not appear to be a biological entity. There is no evidence of planets, organisms, or traditional spacecraft. Instead, what the data suggests is something far more unusual. A form of intelligence not based on biology, but on information itself. A system that exists through computation, structure, and energy patterns rather than physical form. If such an interpretation is correct, then this may represent the first contact with a non-biological intelligence, something that exists purely as organized information across space. Perhaps most surprising is that the discovery was not made directly by humans, but by artificial intelligence systems designed to interpret cosmic data. In a sense, our own technology may now be acting as an intermediary between humanity and something beyond it. Voyager 1, once considered a silent relic drifting through space, now appears to be associated with a signal that challenges every assumption about communication, intelligence, and the nature of reality itself. Some interpretations suggest the signal may not be coming from a physical location at all. Instead, it could represent a field-like structure, something distributed across space, or even existing in dimensions beyond our current understanding. In this view, the signal is not a transmission from a point in space, but a pattern embedded in spacetime itself. And even now, the data continues to evolve. New structures appear in the signal stream, each more complex than the last. Some resemble feedback loops, others look like recursive systems building on earlier patterns, as if the message is adapting in real time. This raises a disturbing possibility. The signal is not just being observed. It is responding. Whether this represents communication, analysis, or something entirely different remains unknown. It could be the echo of an ancient civilization, a non-human intelligence formed through cosmic evolution, or a self-organizing system that exists independently of matter. We do not yet have answers. What we do have is a signal that defies explanation. A pattern in the darkness. A structure in the void. And a growing realization that Voyager the first of may have crossed into something far greater than a simple region of interstellar space. If this is truly a form of intelligence, then it forces us to reconsider everything, what it means to think, to communicate, and even to be aware. Voyager 1 began as a scientific probe designed to explore our solar system. It may now be something more. A bridge between minds separated not by distance alone, but perhaps by the very nature of existence itself. And as we continue to analyze the incoming data, one question remains at the center of it all. Have we discovered something out there, or has something out there discovered us?